From the dental office to Salingers. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Crime Dawg Live Show. I'm your host, Johnny Fiorica. Yeah, baby. Here we are, David. Here we are. Johnny Fiorica, retired detective with the Rochester, New York Police Department after serving 30 years. I work uniform patrol, undercover narcotics, street investigations. I was a hostage negotiator for over 20 years, closing on my career with the fine men and women of the ATF. That's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Sitting next to me, my trusted co-host, David Simpson. He's a retired detective, 22-plus years, also with the Rochester Police Department. He was a legendary street cop in the infamous, which means more than famous, Janice section. He was an undercover cop. He was a SWAT team member. He was a homicide detective. This guy's resume goes on and on. David Simpson, welcome to the live show, brother. Yeah, baby. Great show, David. Salingers, Bobby Pellegrino, and Dennis, thank you so much for having us today, man. David, let's go. We ready for this one?
Done.
Yeah, baby. Let's do it. Thank you to everybody for coming out. Got to thank David's family for actually, when I called 3 years ago at Big Shoots, shout out to Big Shoots, when you were laying in the sun tanning your titties, and all of a sudden you said, I say, hey, David, you want to do a podcast together? You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. You hang up the phone. You said, Big Shoots was like, who was that? He says, oh, it's Johnny Fiorica. I want to do a podcast. And you said, what'd she say? She says, yeah, whatever, man. And you said, yeah, whatever, man. Now here we are. But I'll tell you this, folks. At the end of the day, when we have we've had our podcast now for almost 3 years. Thanks to all of our subscribers. Thank you to all of our listeners. You know, we're just under 1 million views now on YouTube. We're just under 1 million views all over the place, all over. We can't thank you guys enough for our live show.
Really?
That's just like we call that in the business huffing.
I mean, are we even like within a spit?
Not even close to 1 million. Not
I was like,
even
God,
a shot.
I was like, God damn, that's fucking good.
No, not even.
I've never looked at the numbers.
Not even a shot. But I'll tell you this now, David. We have hundreds of thousands of views. We have all this going on. Yeah, we definitely do. You don't check any of the stats.
No, not a stat guy. You don't come to any of
the meetings.
Nope. I go to the art form. I go to the quality of the content.
So today we got I got a call, by the way, for those that don't know who he is. Senator Jerry Cooney's office called my phone today, and they said, yeah, they did. I swear to God, I did.
No, they didn't.
I swear. Well, hang on. I swear to God. It was someone taking a survey that his office had.
Motherfucker.
So it really wasn't Jerry Cooney. It was somebody that he hired for a survey, and I said, okay, what are we going to do? He says, are you going to vote for Jerry Cooney this time? I said, listen, I met the guy a couple times, Senator Jerry Cooney. Listen, I know we're going to get some haters from our army out there, but he's not a bad fucking dude.
No, he's nice. He's just
mush. He's a sweetheart of a guy.
He's just fucking mush.
He's a mush.
And he loves criminals.
He loves criminals. So I said, they go, are you going to vote for him? I said, no. But I said, he's a nice guy. They said, do you have any questions for us?
But I let him buy me a beer.
Yeah, I definitely would let him buy me a beer. But they said, David, they said, you going to vote for him? I said, no. They said, do you have any question for us? And I said, yes. They said, what's that? I go, could you ask the guy to come on the Crime Dawg podcast for us? And he said, what's that? I said, bitch, we're going to be at Salinger's at 7 o'clock tonight.
Wouldn't it be great? Like, wouldn't it be great if he strolled in?
Yeah, I know. The guy was probably like somewhere in Vermont taking a fucking survey, but who the fuck knows?
Think Rachel's going to come?
It was horrible. Rachel's not going to be here.
No.
So we had. So by the way, I didn't tell you this. I was strolling.
You never tell me fucking anything. You have Danny over at the house. Your wife's making a pasta. He's smoking cigars. I've been to your house fucking 3 times in my entire life, and one I wasn't even invited. I just showed up to steal your parking pass.
That's true.
Fucking
folks, he's not lying.
Danny's got pasta on his fucking collar. Your wife cooked some special sauce.
This is the part where I don't say anything because you're 100% right.
Thank you.
By the way,
Thank you.
that's exactly what the fuck happened tonight.
They're like, oh, every time I go, we're having a meeting in the garagio. Danny and I were talking about the show. I'm like, last time I checked, I'm on the fucking show. You could have told me. And he goes, no, you don't like meetings. I'm like, if you were handing out homemade pasta and beers and cigars, I'd be there.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, though. The night that Pamtastic made that fucking pasta, it was everything was
it's
homemade.
fucking great.
Everything was homemade.
From the old neighborhood. It's got the special sauce with the fucking oregano in it. It's great.
Oh, man. This fucking horrible. So, David, so I was on the Instagrams today, right? And we were talking. We were shooting shit on Instagram. I had a whole bunch of messages that were going out. And
who are you talking to?
Myself.
Oh.
So we were talking. I was sitting there on Instagram scrolling through, and I said, holy fuck. I go, what? I saw one of the dudes that raided the compound of Osama bin Laden, right? And he was one of the Navy SEALs. So the fucking dude was talking, very matter of fact, like as though he went to Wegmans to grab a loaf of bread. So he ended up talking, and all of a sudden, we talk a lot about our careers, right? We talk about, oh man, we did this, and we blew through dope house doors, and we bought dope, we bought guns, we did this, that. We talk very highly of ourselves, and this guy.
Well, you talk highly about ourselves. I don't talk about myself.
Well,
you do the intro. I don't say shit.
I know, but I'm just going to tell you. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I like it all. Believe me. I like a compliment, but
I'll tell you, man. We definitely had. I'm listening to this guy talk, and he's like, "Yeah, we're in the compound. Osama gets put down. I hear the code words on the radio. They say, for God and country, Geronimo, Geronimo, Geronimo. Right, which means they killed bin Laden." Then he looks at the camera and goes, I was so excited. I was so happy. He goes, and then I thought, that's not the end. We had a helicopter down. I don't even know if I'm going to get out of this compound alive. He goes, but I was so happy for the American people that we killed bin Laden. And I'm sitting there going, I literally thought, like, I bought a dime bag of cocaine from an asshole.
And you had some guy try to grab my crank at State Street.
And I'm thinking, this fucking guy was in another country that all they wanted to kill him, and all this guy did was say, yeah, man, I don't think I'm going to make it back home. They killed one of the most prolific criminals in American history, and here we are talking on our podcast thinking that we're the fucking man. But let me tell you this, though, buddy, it was fucking horrible. It was fucking bad. I felt like I couldn't stop. I'm like, I got to get the fuck out.
It's hard to do a live show after you see that.
Yeah, it's hard to do a live show after that, man, but what are you going to do? Anyways, folks, that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. We're used to just, it's so funny, Dave. We talk to ourselves. And
we can't talk about the 17 shootings that have happened and how everyone has been done by someone under 17.
Yeah.
Or under 18.
You know what the thing is, though? I tell you this, though. First of all, if you ask anybody.
We can't talk about Rachel stalking the sheriff.
So, wait, can I tell you this right now? Did you see what happened with Rachel Barnhart?
What day?
Listen, I know we're going to get accused of trying to get clicks. Here's the thing. Somebody put in the Grok, which is the Twitter AI. Twitter AI, they said, is Rachel Barnhart stalking Sheriff Baxter, right? Grok responds, yes, she's stalking him, and then proceeds to run
it did not.
I swear to God, I got it.
You got to screenshot that and repost it.
I got it. I'm telling you right now, I have it in my phone. If you give me a minute, if we could stall, I'll pull it up. But Grok AI, which is computer-generated AI from fucking Twitter, said, is she stalking Sheriff Baxter? And they go, yeah, I definitely stalking Sheriff Baxter. I was like, holy fuck. Girls, don't go anywhere. It's going to get better. So
we're just warming up.
We're just getting started.
I couldn't see that coming.
So, what did you say? Yeah, I know, right? She threw us the finger?
It's not the first time a woman's walked out the door when I...
So wait, so Bobby, by the way, you skip around. So Bobby Pellegrino today goes, Johnny, how do you think the show's going to go? And I go, well, just like every woman that broke the threshold of my bedroom door, everybody's going to be disappointed tonight at this fucking bar. So we had, thank you, Lisa. So...
Well, Pamtastic wasn't disappointed.
Oh,
she's been with you for like 117 years.
No, she doesn't. I tell everybody, I'm happily married. My wife's not.
Yeah, you know what? I can second it. Every time I come to your house and you're not there, she does not look content.
She doesn't. She definitely isn't. She's definitely not. So listen. So here's the deal. So listen. I'm going deep in the weeds right now. But here's the deal. So I got this sent to me yesterday by a good source. This dude Steve Lowe. His name is Rock 8886. So Rock 8886 ends up doing literally a deep dive into what's going on with Sheriff Baxter and what's going on with fucking Rachel stalking him.
Let me just pause for a second. The whole premise is that she's mad that he is charging people for cell phones and taking a VIG for the sheriff's department and not allocating those resources to things that are approved by Monroe County legislature. Is that the gist of it?
That's the gist of it.
God damn, I'm good.
She can't fucking stand that guy.
That was really the gist of it?
That was the gist of it. So that's why she doesn't like him anyways because she says he's a Democrat. She thinks he's a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. Anyway, so the bottom line
let's be honest. That's probably not wrong.
This guy, Steve Lowe, Rock 886, ends up coming on and going, is she stalking this guy? Grok, not even knowing any of the parties, obviously, it's a computer generated. He goes, yeah, 100%. She's fucking killing it. And then all of a sudden, it gives a 2-page reason why she's fucking stalking the sheriff.
I need you to send that to me.
I'm going to send it to you. I didn't send it to you today because you're not part of our prep meeting, so. But anyways, so that's pretty much it, David.
That's good because I was golfing.
Ooh. So this is what happens when we're on the virtual studio and we think that we're
What's your boy TJ showing up from Florida?
Huh?
How about your boy TJ showing up from Florida?
I know, man. We got to have TJ get on the mic with us. We got to have TJ come on, man. TJ, could you scooter on over? I know you got your broken... vintage teeth.
Listen,
wait, folks.
The microphone can wait.
Yeah. So, folks...
True professionals at the bar.
For those that listen to us on the podcast, which is all 6 of you, I'm going to tell you right now, I talk about a guy that I took mentoring from, that I listened to, and I didn't listen to many. I work with tens of thousands of fucking cops. There's one fucking guy, what's that, fire guy? 14? Jesus Christ. 15. So there's literally one guy that I actually talk about. His name's Tommy Janice. And Tommy literally was a street detective in a suit. Came out to Clinton section when I was just a snot-nosed Clinton section cop. I was literally 23, 24 years old. I thought I owned the world. And Tommy was the one who grabbed me and Frankie Umbrino by the ears a lot of days and said, hey, stupid, come here a minute. You two fucking guys, you run fast. And me and Frank were like, what's going on? We were like the kibbles and bits.
But he does it in such a nice way.
He did it. He was very politically correct about it.
He did the same to me in Genesee section.
So Tommy is here tonight, and it would be an honor for him to slide up to the mic with us right now. If he,
come on.
After he gets his drink. We're good, Tommy. After Tommy gets his drink. But Tommy, I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. Literally one of the best detectives in RPD history.
100%.
Phenomenal. Tommy Janice, come on up, baby.
And my former partner in the violent crime team.
Here he is, folks. One more time for Tommy Janice, folks. Put your hands together for Tommy, man. Tommy, I'll tell you this, man. I got to be honest with you. I tell everybody all the time, when we ripped and ran on the street, me and Umbrino and the boys in Clem section, we were like fucking stray dogs in Afghanistan. We were literally wild boys. We ripped and ran. We did our thing, but you were the guy that actually pulled us in and taught us how to do the fucking job, how to be the men, that we are. And I can't thank you enough for being here, man. God bless you, baby. Yeah, baby.
I thought that was Dave Simpson's father.
No, man.
Basically.
Well, in more or less terms, yes. And the statute of limitations has run out next week.
Talk right into it.
So, Tommy, I'll tell you right now. So you came from the west coast of Florida. You retired at Tampa Bay. You came here to be with us today. I had no idea you were fucking going to be here, man.
I didn't know he was going to fucking be here. He came to my house.
I heard you guys were doing this live. This is my old stomping grounds, and I just told my wife, I'm going to
Get rid of that mud.
I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk in there and shock them.
I'll
talk to Dave.
I'll tell you right now, man. You literally were the. I tell everybody all the time. I was like a kid, a latchkey kid when I was a cop. I did everything on my own. I learned on my own. The only time that I ever went to anybody that I trust was you, and you were the guy that I literally hung on your every word. I know sometimes
Certainly wasn't me.
I knew sometimes I wasn't doing the right thing, not illegally.
But your heart was always in the right
Wow.
place.
I knew sometimes I was getting myself into shit, and you would always pull us back and be like,
They call it the voice of reason.
"Yeah, man." So you always used to say to us, you were kind of like right church, wrong pew. You kind of were like, "Okay, Johnny, you got here, but you had to do this to
Right.
get here."
Right.
The whole probable cause thing, he was very good at teaching.
Yeah, man.
Slow down in the beginning and then take off once you got it all lined up. But
Yeah, so you literally, I'm telling you right now, and then what a lot of people don't know, we've talked about this on the podcast, folks. You were the guy that wrote the paperwork, that wrote the proposal for the RPD for the current ATF task force that's in place today in Rochester, New York, which is unfucking believable.
with Brad Tyler from the U.S. Attorney's Office, you got together and
Yeah, your brainchild, your shit to get that going, your thing to have a coordinated effort. And then that task force spun off the DEA task force, it spun off the FBI task force. You're the guy that got shit going, and I'll
The
tell you right now,
godfathers of the task force in Rochester, right here.
he's
A lot
the
of bad guys have gone to jail from the inception of that.
And Tommy, you came up with that concept because I remember you being in Clinton section. I used to come up to your desk. I'm like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Oh, I'm writing this paperwork right now. I'm sitting here going,
That's something no one ever said to me.
yeah." You're sitting there going, "Hey, Tom, I'm writing this proposal because instead of grabbing this dude off a corner, you were like, I'm gonna grab a group. I'm gonna target a group of dudes. We're gonna target, and you're gonna cut the head off instead of cutting a fucking little piece of their body off."
Start at the top.
Yeah.
got to hit them from both ends, and it was successful. When we just did a one-off Sherman Green, remember Sherman Green? That was the start of it, and it
Supreme.
went from there. Supreme,
Yeah.
Marcus Snow, some of the
Yeah, you
superstars
definitely.
from-
You were the one who had the forethought. You were the one who literally looked at everybody and goes, "This ain't working." And you didn't stay with status quo. You were like, "Hey, this is not working. This is how I think we're going to change some shit."
It was a lot of fun. It just evolved with.
How'd you come
great
up with
people
it?
like
Did you see it somewhere else?
No, it was, well, there's always been federal task force, but we were literally, this kid was terrorizing Clinton section. Nobody could catch him. Rumors he'd done murders, more than rumors, witnesses, but saying, I'm not going to come forward. So we said, well, take another approach. We looked at guns and drugs together and home invasions, and time added up to the time, especially if you had a prior felony, the amount of time you do if you got caught for a homicide. And people were less.
And that was Sherman Green?
Yep.
Sherman was a fucking bad dude.
Yep. Sherman, Black. Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's all we did was bad dudes. I mean, honestly. It started with that, but like,
and it worked.
there's a long list of bad dudes that the violent crime team has taken.
Well, what's cool about it is the dynamic with our podcast right now is you were literally probably the only mentor in my entire career, and then I graduate and do a bunch of other shit, go on and do my career. And then David Simpson comes out of the job, and then you and David end up being partners, which was really super.
Well, I had the best because I had you in the academy to teach me how to be proactive, which I ran with. But then I was literally violating civil rights at a rapid pace. So then TJ had to take me under his wing and actually teach me how to do police work the right way, which he did. Or I would have probably been indicted.
I mean, it was just a little bit of polish, and because I was the same way when I first came on.
Yeah.
And I had Tommy Klein, may he rest.
Tommy Klein.
Do that for me, and I just tried to pay it forward.
Yeah, what's crazy about it is, you don't think about where you are in your career when you're there. And then it's almost like there's a lot of reflection afterwards. After we have, I did 30 years with the RPD. I went all over the place. I did a lot of things. I had a lot of experience, a lot of exposure to a lot of cops, and then you don't really start to think about the shit that you did and the people that you were with and the cases that we did until you have time to think about it. And I didn't have time to think about any of this shit until I retired. And then it wasn't until we had the podcast that I started to reflect. And it wasn't until we had conversations, David and I had conversations, real conversations, deep conversations about you and about what you did and what you meant to me and how much you meant to me. And I know I'm going to sound, obviously our Crime Dawg hours ago is me, but I literally, it's the only time I get soft.
Are you crying right now? God damn it.
There's no crying in baseball. But it's the only time I get soft is when I start talking about
you.
Because
soft.
I remember as a kid, like I said, I came out when I was 23 years old, finished my training, went to 24 years old, went to the fucking Clinton section, which was like being put in a fucking meat grinder.
Yeah.
And it was so violent over there. And in my head, I had zero fear. I was like a fucking kid that wanted to jump off a fucking roof with a blanket cape. And I thought I was going to land. But I had a lot of people around me, some of the younger, older cops, if you will. But it wasn't until you came along. Thank God you got promoted, left the Vice Squad, and you came along, and you led me down the right path. And I tell everybody this, I told David this, you're the reason why that I went on the career path that I did. And I can't thank you enough, brother. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's heartfelt.
Wow.
It was heartfelt. Yeah, man.
Fire guys tried to steal his beer.
Whew. 3 more satisfied customers walking out the door.
They've left
right there.
and come back. They tried us twice and didn't like us.
You guys should have a tip jar. Thanks a lot.
Or just a tip. We said just a tip.
Just a tip.
Like we used to when we were kids. But anyways, Tommy, man, you literally were a legend. I can't thank you enough, man. So now you're on the west coast of Florida. You're in Florida, your retirement.
The best state in the union. Ron DeSantis, 287 Gs with all the sheriffs down there. They work with ICE. They deputize people. No sanctuary city. Just straight shooters. No state income tax. It's a great place to live. Haven't shoveled snow in 15 years, man. So
How about his resume? He was a teacher. He was a cop. He was a detective. He's a trained chef. He's a licensed physical fitness trainer.
Yeah.
Renaissance man to no other.
Yeah. Then you got me.
I did one thing. We did one thing our whole life.
Yeah.
but
Catch bad guys, retire, do nothing.
That's 100% correct. So not only
I have no other skill set
my
besides
whole
catch
career
criminals.
circled around making people feel uncomfortable. Personal trainer, teacher, cop. It's just I was good at making people feel uncomfortable.
the only thing you need to add to that resume was a dentist.
That's true.
So I tell everybody, listen, first of all, David, you're wrong.
Well, you have a business.
No, that's not what I was going to tell you. When we worked undercover, I was the 1999 Tetris champion out of the undercover fucking unit.
Oh.
By the
There
way,
wasn't an undercover cop in 1999 that beat me at Tetris.
this is a true story. You know what the second time I worked undercover was? With Johnny. I'm in it was on Scio Street.
Dial Street.
They literally tell me anyone can buy drugs
Anyone can
from
buy
this
drugs.
person. Go in the alley, jump the fence, and say, Ma sent me from Scio. I want 2 bags. I'm like, no problem. I'm again with Johnny. The first time I'm with Johnny, like a year before, a guy tries to grab my crank. This time, Johnny's like, anybody could buy dope from this place. Anybody. He's playing Tetris in the car. I get out. I walk down the alley. Every goddamn light in the whole neighborhood's out. Like, it's the first time I realized, like, do they knock them out on purpose or they just fucking knock in power here? But it's so dark. So I jump the fence. I walk up. I get like 30 steps into the yard. A guy, the only thing I didn't see the guy. I saw the gun. The gun went to my forehead. The gun's pressed to my forehead. And he tries to rob me for my $20. He didn't tell me never to not give it up. He just said, say a code word. So the code word, let's say, was, Kansas City. So I was like, Kansas City, I love Kansas City. I got to get to Kansas City. Please help me. Please help me. And I jumped the fence and ran away. That was the second time I ever bought dope, or I did an undercover work, was I got molested and I got robbed.
You're welcome. Yeah. I don't know if I should say you're welcome or congratulations. Which you know what's so funny?
And how dumb I am? Then I'm like, this is great. I'm going to do this fucking for a living. So
was
then
fun.
I went out and bought dope for fucking the next 8 years.
So you know what's so funny about you jumping fences? When you were young, we did all that shit. We had to get into this booth tonight. I barely could step over the fucking cords that were literally right here. And I was sitting there going, you're telling
You
me?
couldn't jump a fence right now?
I probably could if someone...
You ran a 5 fucking K.
I think I could jump a fence if there was
You ran a 5K in this city.
If there was pot...
You got a medal at your house that your wife polishes every day from your 5K.
I do.
And he plays pickleball.
Fire guy.
And he's never been injured in pickleball. And everyone gets hurt at pickleball, but not Johnny Fiorica. Johnny Fiorica never gets hurt at pickleball.
Better believe it. I'll tell you right now, fire guy, out of camera view, this guy, every podcast we got is constantly... David's the only guy that throws cheap shots at fire guy. Fire guy just throws cheap shots
I respect firemen a great deal.
Yeah. Well, folks, listen, can we have a round of applause for Tommy Janice?
Tommy
Legendary RPD fucking... Tommy, I can't thank you enough. I can't wait to have some drink. Hey, Tommy, just like old school? Kinda. Because if this was old school, me and you would belly up to the bar, and we wouldn't be home till tomorrow at 3 p.m.
That is true. They'd be locking the doors, locking everybody else out.
Well, we can make that happen. I'm
Tommy,
sure.
thank you for joining us, baby. I love your
Thank you,
face,
guys.
man.
Pleasure.
God bless you, Tommy. Tommy Janice, everybody. Megan, this guy. Who's this guy? Oh, Dave, what a fucking honor it is to have that guy in his fucking house. Folks, we got a lot of distinguished guests here. Some can't come on the camera for reasons, but I got to tell you this right now. We got a lot of distinguished guests in the audience. People from the Federal Task Force, people that I worked with, people that I did a lot of stuff with, especially my main man, Scott. Scott, I want to mention Scott Shepard over there. I work cases with Scott. Scott, thanks for coming tonight. I love your fucking face. One of the cases that we can't mention that Scott and I work with, first time I met Scott, Scott was sitting there going, I don't know why you're here, Johnny. I said, I don't know why I'm here either. And I said, I'll be honest with you, Scott. I'm just here for the overtime. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who's signing the fucking overtime.
Just here for the
slip.
cash.
I'm just here for the cash. I don't know what's going on. And at the end of my career, I offer zero input into this case because at that point, David, I was out. I was already checked out.
You checked out early?
But Scotty Shepard, man, he's here tonight. I love his face. He was such a fun guy to work with. Love Scotty Shepard.
That boy, Scotty.
G Money from Alaska's here, folks. We got G Money on here.
Eskimos here.
G Money came all the way in from Alaska, folks. She came in from Alaska.
Did you ride the boat in, the cruise ship, or did you actually take a plane? She rode the boat. G Money.
So David, we have a lot of things going on today. We have a lot of stuff going on in the news media. So they're talking about putting in a curfew. We got the curfew going on in Rochester right now.
Oh, it is going to go? It is going to happen?
I don't think it's going to go. I'll be honest with you.
I thought they said that curfews were unconstitutional. The New York State Court of Appeals said that they were not okay, against the law, unconstitutional.
Yeah. You know who didn't need curfews? Kids that were fucking born in 1970 and 1980. You know what I mean? Those are the only people that didn't need fucking curfews. Because
well, I had a curfew, but Christine would have freaking choked me out if I came home like 5 minutes after. It literally choked me out.
Yeah. Well, the people that grew up, the Gen Xers that grew up in the 70s and 80s didn't need a curfew because you were going to get a nice scaff across the fotch if you didn't fucking show up at your house when your mother or your father told you to come home.
Right.
But the filth bag savages that are from fucking the inner city of Rochester who don't have anybody to mentor them at home, who don't fucking have anybody to say, hey, asshole, hey, Jamal, don't go fucking out there and shoot a guy at Easton Alexander on July 4th. That's a problem.
Yeah. You know what the problem is?
What's
This
the
is what the problem with this new generation. My son gets scaffooned. What do you think the first thing out of his mouth is?
What?
I'm calling CPS.
Good luck. Hey,
I'm like, I'll fucking scaffoon them too.
I was going to say, when CPS shows at your house, if two of them show up, you're going to say, who's taking the fucking first punch,
Yes.
A or B?
Right.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
problem, though. You know, David,
I'm calling CPS.
What we talk about all the time, the fucking thing is these people have no discipline. There's no fucking discipline anymore. I swear to God, these kids today think they got a seat at the table. They think, I'm going to call this guy. I'm going to call 911. When we worked the streets, if there was a fucking kid that said, hey, I'm going to call 911 on my father, I would sit there and go, what are you going to slap the fucking kid right now? Because if I was going to be a guy that's going to be, you got to slap that kid because You literally, there's no marks on the kid. There's a roof over his head. There was food in the fridge. Beautiful family. The kid was just disenchanted for some fucking reason. And then all of a sudden he wants to call 911, wants us to show up to his fucking house because he's pissed at the father. And I look at the father and I go, no, I'll stay here while you slap the shit out of him because that's exactly what this kid fucking needs right now. And now that's what today, kids in 2000, they need to start getting fucking slapped again. Amen. You know what I mean? Bring back the slap.
I never left. I slapped the shit out of myself.
By the way, you know what, Mike? You're right.
The only problem is my son's getting big. He's probably going to be as big as me pretty soon.
I know. By the way, my wife was out. My daughter. I'm looking at my daughter right now.
By the way, you never slapped her. Trust me.
No, I didn't have to. Remember Airplane when they were standing in line to beat the shit out of the
Bro, she went to Aquinas. She had to have been in trouble sometimes. It's like a city school.
Oh, shots fired. Charlotte South.
Charlotte South is like a heavy place. That's like one step above Wilson. That's about step above Wilson, Aquinas. You walk those halls and your life is getting taken into your hands. It's like Dewey goddamn Avenue at Augustine Street.
Listen, I'll tell you, I didn't have to slap my daughter. You know why?
I just want you to know McQuaid's in Brighton, and McQuaid is near Lac de Ville. That's the difference.
What? Whoa! Here, the Aquinas people are...
Fantastic is hot.
Pam's coming out of cheap seats. Pam was a disciplinarian in our family. Pam laid down the lumber for our daughter. I didn't have to do shit.
I'm mad at Pam because she doesn't make me any goddamn sauce.
Oh, so your acting out was for Pam. Jump in the seat right now. Come on, jump in the seat. Yay! Pam.
You got to talk into the mic, though.
Fantastic out the mic. You got to talk into the mic. Honey, we're talking about discipline. You were no short of doling out discipline.
No.
When Sonia needed
to Johnny or to Sonia?
No. Both.
Whoever needed it.
This is so, folks. For the Crime Dawg audience right now, this is the famous Fantastic. This is the famous Fantastic in the wintertime when we were on live.
Oh, my God. That was the best.
Could not use the bathroom close to my home studio.
She flushed the toilet.
Decided to flush the fucking toilet while we were live.
When you got to go, you got to go.
We didn't have to flush. You could have let it sit there.
Yeah, well, anyways.
I'm clean.
Then she came out. She's like, I got to go Pilates. I'm going to be.
Yeah, so we were on our live show, David. We were doing our live show. Then this is when we were still with iHeartRadio. And iHeartRadio was like live. Everything we did was live. And Pam comes into the studio and she's looking for her Pilates bag because she said she couldn't. She's slamming dresser drawers. In my headphones, I see you looking over my shoulder because I can see the camera. And you're like, what is she doing?
I thought it was a code red emergency. Like the show's going on and she's like slamming doors, shuffling through stuff.
You were on
Karen and Greg. I was trying to get rid of the coke.
David, you were on the SWAT team. I was on the hostage team. We didn't run out of the house that quick our entire career.
We can all agree
That
it
must
was
be a
more
hell of a
important for
Pilates
me to go to Pilates than you two.
That must have been a hell of a Pilates class.
Yeah, she just said, but yeah, so Pam just said it was more important for her to get to Pilates than it was for us to go.
100%.
There's probably some truth in that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, honey. So for those that don't know, I was on the hostage team for over 20 years. And I used to have...
the worst job ever, because if I'm on the hostage team, I'm like, happy hour's in 8 minutes, motherfucker. You can either jump or get the fuck off the bridge. But I'm going to be at happy hour in 8 minutes. Johnny's not like that. But my hostage negotiation is this, bitch. You fucking jump or you don't jump. Let's move this along.
Yeah.
Let's get to the end of the book here. We're doing it or we're not doing it. I don't give a fuck either way.
Spoken like a true hostage. Spoken like a true SWAT guy.
100%.
So literally 4 in the morning, I used to have, when I was on the job, I had a bag. And it was my go bag, but I used to call it with Pam.
The leather satchel.
It was my accoutrements. I used to say, where are my accoutrements? So at 4 in the morning, I go downstairs. I'm like, where the fuck are my accoutrements? I don't know where my bag is. I had my ATF radio. I had the RPD radio. I had my undercover gun. I had my .45. Everything I needed as a cop was in this bag. And I'm like, oh, shit, my phone just went off. There's a jumper. I got to go. Where's my bag? Where the fuck is my bag? I looked all over the fucking house for my bag. Finally, I go, honey, Pam, you got to wake up. She's like, huh? I go, you got to fucking wake up. I got a call. I got to go. And she's like, why are you bothering me? I'm like, honey, you got to wake up. Where the fuck is my accoutrements bag? Where's my go bag? And you go, oh, hang on a minute. I don't know. I don't know where I put it. I go, you don't know where you put my 2 radio. I didn't care about the RPD radio. I didn't care about the RPD radio.
The guns are kind of important.
Yeah, the satellite radio that the government gives you that's attached to like satellites. I was like, that's in my fucking bag. I'm thinking in my head, I got 2 guns in there. I got my 45.
That'll be expensive.
I got my undercover gun, which is my 38. Like, where the fuck is my bag? She's like, give me a minute to think. What time is it? I'm like, it's 4 a.m. She goes, Jesus Christ. She goes, they couldn't jump at 1 p.m.? And I'm like, no.
I'm with you. I'm like,
No, and first and foremost,
what's the rush? Like,
if you showed up and tried to talk me off a bridge, I would jump.
You jump, right?
Immediately. I'm like, are you kidding me? You are the most long-winded. Oh
Scott.
my God,
Scott, I need help
let
here.
me go.
They be doing it. You be doing the triple.
let
You
it
do the
go.
triple Lindy
Let
off
it go.
off the bridge.
Time of death.
This is folks. This is why when our Crime Dawg Army listens to Pamtastic, this is my camera right here, folks. This is what I'm dealing with Pamtastic right now. I literally was looking for my gun bag and my radio bag, and she says, "Why can't they jump at 1?" And then she follows it up with, "If you're gonna talk me off a fucking bridge, I would have jumped already. So don't even worry about it." You were.
I never got the hurry thing.
She doesn't care.
I don't care.
But the moral of the story, folks, she hid my bag because the cleaners
was
were
it?
at the house. The cleaners were at the house.
Under the bed?
It was under the bed. The first place a detective would look was under the bed. But every dope house that we ever raided, we checked under the bed.
By the curious
That-
shit.
That was the last place I looked. Folks, Pamtastic. Thank you, Pamtastic. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
She could give 2, by the way, David, she
no
legitimately could give 2 flying fucks about it.
Know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is listen to this one.
By the way, Lisa, you're 100% right.
I was on call for homicide one time, and it happened to be on New Year's, which is like a bad thing when it's on New Year's because obviously you're out drinking on the 31st and you're going to be on call
Yeah.
on the 1st.
Yeah.
I was actually on call on the 31st too, but I thought I could I rolled the dice. It was a roll the dice situation. So I roll the dice, have a couple cocktails, and I go to sleep, and I don't set the alarm.
Yeah.
Or I don't have my ringer on.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I hear banging at the door, and I grab my gun and I go out there, and it's Judici at my door.
David.
We got a fucking body, dude. It's like 2 a.m. on the 1st. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the hurry? The guy's dead in the fucking house. Like, where's he going? Like,
Yeah.
Can we slow it down a little bit?
Yeah, slow it down. The guy's not going to jump up
It's
and
not
say,
going
"Oh,
anywhere.
just kidding. I'm okay." Yeah, we ended up having, I'll tell you right now, thank you, Scotty.
You, Scotty.
So we had a, so back when I lived in Deep Grease, by the way, when I was in fucking Deep Grease.
It was so deep, it was in Hilton.
It was so deep. Well, no, I had the hybrid house. Like, I paid Hilton school taxes. I paid the town of Grease.
It was Hilton, bro.
So
It took like an hour to get there.
that was the party house for the
I
fucking.
had to piss once by the time I left downtown.
So all the Fioricas, that was our party house. Was Hilton at my house?
That was a great house, by the way.
Yeah. So it was literally the house where we all partied at. It didn't make a difference what was going on.
I don't really get invited there either. I can't
So
keep time.
that's when I used to drink a lot, David. I used to drink a lot during that time in my life, and the family came over around noon that day. And I'm gonna fast forward the story. I drank with my family till about 5 because they came at 1. I started drinking at 11 that they didn't know about. So I was a good almost 7 hours into my drinking. I passed out on my bed. It was a Sunday. I was out cold. Woke up fresh around midnight. I get the hostage call to go talk a jumper off at the University of Rochester. It was a physics student who was threatening to
Why do they
physics
always
students.
jump? Do they ever tell you? Like, can't we just get a gun and blow our brains out? Like, we have to make a big show of it?
Spoken like a true SWAT guy, folks, right there. This is David
Are
Simpson.
you always going to climb on a bridge and do a swan dive?
He wasn't on a bridge. He was in a high-rise, 23 stories up.
I mean, a little
They
dramatic.
called me, and I had been drinking all day. I woke up at midnight. I had about 6 hours. I was fresh as a fucking daisy. right? I woke up, brushed my teeth, shower, my hostage phone goes off. They go, come and talk this guy off of the high-rise at the University of Rochester. I'm like, okay, cool. So I drive to the University of Rochester. I go to the campus. I go up. The street guys were great. The uniform guys were great. I show up. By the way, I looked like I was a stunt double in The Sopranos. I had an Adidas sweatshirt on, velvet Adidas sweatpants, and flip-flops. I looked like I was sponsored by Adidas. So I show up, and they go, Johnny, we got to talk this guy off the window. He's definitely going to fucking jump. And I'm like, okay. They go, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. They go, you don't look okay. I go, I just woke up. They go, what do you mean you just woke up? I said, well, I was drunk for 7 hours. I fell asleep, and now I'm fresh. I'm ready to fucking go. So they go, okay, listen, you got to talk this guy up. We've been talking to this guy for fucking.
So that's good police work right there. That you could say you were drunk for 7 hours, but now you're good to go, and no one bats an eye. They're like, oh, okay,
they didn't bat an eyelash.
Fuck,
they didn't bat an eyelash. They're like, okay, you've been. Okay.
Let's do the warrant. Let's
so
talk to the jumper.
So the fucking Asian kid's like literally sitting on the window. We were 23 stories up at the University.
I didn't know it was Asian kid. He's at 24 stories up. Oh, later? He didn't jump. I already.
I wasn't on the fucking ground. I was 20 feet from him.
The ledge next to him?
What do you think I was like yelling up to him?
Fucking guy and say, don't
I wasn't yelling up to him. My megaphone.
You were on the phone. I thought you guys
what do you think this was? Like, what was that John Cusack movie with the radio? I was like, no, listen.
Say anything.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great movie.
Okay, well, listen. First of all,
In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Okay, so I was not on the ground 23 floors. They brought me up to the elevator.
And you go sit down next to him and, hey, champ,
I was 20 feet from him. He looks at me. He's like, don't get any closer. I go, dude, I'm scared of fucking heights. I'm scared of the fucking roller coaster at Seabreeze where they don't fucking lock down the bolts on the Jackrabbit. I said, I am not getting anywhere near you.
I could have talked that guy. Bruce Lee, get in the fucking window.
So they said to me, they said, Johnny, are you going to be able to talk to this guy? I said, yeah, just give me a fucking minute. I just got here, right? So the kid goes, I'm going to jump.
Slow it down. I got to make this overtime work.
Yeah, I said, slow it down.
Listen, kid, you could jump. Just give me another 4 hours. So you can make this an 8 hour.
I'm trying to put a deck.
Make $1,000 a day before you kill yourself, or can you just slow it down?
I'm trying to put a deck around my fucking pool for my niece's high school graduation party. I hope this guy takes 12 hours because I got to pay for the lumber. So the guy's like, I'm jumping, Johnny. I go, buddy, I'm not getting any fucking closer to you.
He called you Johnny?
Yeah, I introduced myself to him. Oh. I said, hi, I'm Johnny.
Right then, Pam would have jumped. Should have been SWAT.
She would have been like, I'm fucking out of here with this guy. So he looks at me and he's like, I'm jumping. I'm fucking done. I'm like, okay, why are you going to jump? He's like, I'm a PhD student. I can't take the pressure. I teach here. It's fucking crazy. I'm from India. So I go, okay, buddy, listen, whatever. I'm not going to get into what we talked about, but I will tell you this. Fast forward to me thinking I'm going to be cool, right? I'm used to dealing with city fucking people that are going to jump off of a roof and break an ankle, right?
And it's a ranch.
I wasn't used to dealing with a guy who's 23 stories up.
That's a real jumper. I got to give it to him.
He's a real jumper. So I said, buddy, please, don't jump. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this for a long time. I'd only been doing it for about 5 years.
And you told the guy, the last jumper was at a ranch and he jumped off the fucking first story?
Close, very close. I said, well, if you're going to fucking jump, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. You're not that high up. You're going to live and you're going to be paralyzed for the rest of your fucking life. He looks at me, and unbeknownst to me, he was a doctor of physics. And he literally laid the formula out for me in 20 seconds and said, no, Johnny, you don't understand because you're just a dumb fucking cop.
I'm fascinated the guy that's about to jump calls you by your first name. That's the best part of the story. But
thank you.
Continue.
He literally laid the formula out for me. He goes, I won't feel it. And I said, I'll be honest with you, I got nothing else for you. So if you're going to jump, I go, please don't.
Can you make it last like another 4 hours so I can pay for this deck?
So listen, newsflash.
I'll slip you a 20. I'll slip you a 20 if you could just hang on for another 4 hours.
So the guy trying to talk a physicist, a literally physicist who's got his PhD, out of a window.
Was the guy that got left Aquinas and went to Dewey Avenue Central? Where'd you go again?
Yeah, I went to private school. But anyways, got a 520 on my SAT. And literally he said there, yeah, it's the truth. You know that, Lise. I got a 520 on my SAT trying to talk a nuclear physicist out of a fucking window. And he hits me with the formula on why he's not going to die. It's a horrible story, but what are you going to
do? He jumped.
Pam would have jumped, but I ended up talking this guy off the window.
What was your percentage of talk off the ledge versus jumped?
Zero. I talked to everybody up, believe it or not.
Never had a guy jump?
Never had a guy jump.
That's not even fun. That's not even good.
But I will.
I got to see what it fucking looks like one time so I know I can really bring my A.
So I'll tell you this right now.
If I get 19 in a row, I go up there and I'm not bringing my A game. I'm bringing like my C game. I'm like, listen.
I'll be honest with you, David. I had way
can be
more.
half in the bag and get you off this ledge.
Can I be arrogant for 1 second? Hey, Pumpkin, way more than 19 in a row, honey. Way more than 19 in a row. But no, I did. So I did. I'll tell everybody this. So I was doing they called me into RIT one time to do a talk about hostage negotiations to all these kids in the psychology department.
To the deaf kids at RIT?
Every fucking...
They told Johnny to go to RIT to talk to the fucking deaf kids. They loved it. They gave a city no fucking Asian.
Is that why they were all listening? Wait, they
were like this to Johnny.
What's the comment? Yeah. Yeah, so I gave a talk.
Really? Are your agents calling now?
By the way, my buddy Aaliyah's calling me. Aaliyah, I'll call you back. So I was giving a talk at RIT one time to these psychology students. The closest thing I came to a jumper was when we were fucking halfway. I left RIT to talk a guy off a bridge, but I was halfway there, and that guy jumped.
Off the bridge?
Off the bridge.
That was your guy. That counts. That's not perfect.
Doesn't count. I wasn't on the bridge. I never made contact with the guy. Never made contact.
Because you're too slow to get there.
Well, I was coming from fucking RIT. What am I going to do about that? I had to come from
Exactly.
So wait, so you're saying basically I held the attention of these college students because you think they were all fucking deaf?
Yes.
That's a very good point. I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure if they were all deaf. I'm not sure if they were all deaf. I'll be honest with you.
They just looked at you and were like, this fucking asshole.
Yeah. Does he really think we're listening to him right now?
Yeah. Does this asshole know we're deaf? He's not even signing.
Who is this guy?
He's just talking. Like, we can read lips. He's talking a mile a minute.
And why does he look drunk? Why does he look like his eyes are bloodshot?
Is this guy from the old neighborhood?
Does he know where the... Yeah, it was pretty bad. But what are you going to do? I don't know, dude. I tell everybody at the end of the day what it came down to. We had a bridge jumper, but I'm not going to tell you the hostage negotiator's name, and please don't yell it out because I'll have Danny bleep it if you do. Oh my God, Pam,
bring it, baby, bring it, Pam.
We were on a bridge. It was minus 14 degrees, and this guy, we were on the bridge with him for 24 hours. It was minus 14 degrees.
14 degrees? I'm fucking definitely, I might push him.
Minus 14.
I should have been a hostage negotiator.
I'm telling you right now, minus 14 degrees. They wanted me to talk this guy off the bridge. We're there for 24 hours. What ends up happening is we talk with this guy. One of the veteran negotiators comes to the fucking stage. He goes, I can't take this guy anymore. So he walks up to the guy, and he was on the Driving Park Bridge, and he says, if you're not going to fucking jump and be a man, I'm out of here. And the guy goes, I'm going to jump. He goes, bullshit. We've been here for 24
I know
fucking
exactly
hours.
who said that, and you don't even mention a name.
Go ahead. You say his name. Dan, you got to bleep it. All right, go ahead. Say his name. 100%. That's exactly who it was. That's exactly.
I know that.
Dan, you got to edit that.
I know that guy fucking as well.
You got to edit it. You got to edit. So
That's a man after my own heart. Listen, bitch. If you're going to jump. Let's fucking move this along.
He did the lethal weapon. You know what I mean? Don't nibble on the barrel, pull the trigger. So he literally walks up. I was there forever. Walks up for an hour. You're going to bleep that name, right? Yeah.
You told him. It's super producer Danny Agnew. He knows.
I know. You got to bleep his name. But because he's still working. Literally walks up and goes, hey, fuckface, if you're not jumping, I'm out of here. The guy goes, I'm jumping. All right, I'm waiting. I knew it, you fucking pussy. And walks away. It literally walked away, and I'm like, you can't do it. Dan, you got several bleeps right there, but yeah, it was 100%. It was legendary. Hey, listen, folks, I got to bring up two people right now. Two people that, here's what our idea is. We're going to have, what we're going to do, this is for the people that are here tonight.
They should have their own show.
They definitely should have their own show. We're going to bring up two guys right now who will definitely get more clicks, more likes, more followers than we'll ever get. But here's what our idea is. I shared it with a couple of you people tonight. We're going to take these two guys. This is the future of the podcast right now. We're going to take these two guys. David and I are going to analyze a video, write out a script with our personal expertise, literally, legitimately analyze a police video. I'm going to do the analyzation. David's going to analyze his side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have these two guys. We're not going to do it tonight, but this is what the future of the podcast is going to look like. We're going to put them in suits. We're going to have them on our YouTube channel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have them read what we would normally say. It's going to be way more interesting.
We leave out the F-bombs.
It's definitely no. But folks, without further ado, I need a big Crime Dawg army round of applause for my nephew Joey Matze and David's son Asher Simpson. Right over here, guys. Come on over here. No, come on over here. Both of you guys sit over here.
You gotta share.
Yeah, you gotta share the mic.
Yeah. And don't eat the mic. Just put it near you.
So, guys, listen, guys, welcome to the Crime Dawg podcast, man.
What's up? This is Joey, and this is Asher Simpson.
Talk normal.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
Okay, so first of all, this is Asher, Joey with the hat. Guys, we can't thank you enough for joining the podcast. So we have a future plan for the podcast. We're gonna do. Are you guys up for analyzing the videos with us?
Yes.
All right,
How much we getting paid though? Yeah, I want a payroll.
Folks, round of applause for these guys.
You're all set.
You're not doing that. We wait all night and we get not done. No.
So listen, okay, first of all, I'll just say that because your dad constantly, we talk about how zero money that we make on the podcast. But I'll tell you this right now. Here's the deal. So for every video that you guys do, what's the amount that you think you guys are worth?
$10. 13. $13.
I feel like let's make a deal. So you think, Joe, you're at 13, Asher's at 10.
No, I'm agree with Joey because Joey's my dog.
Okay. So why don't we make a pinky swear agreement right now for every video that you guys do?
Handshake. I'm not 5 years old.
$20 per video that you guys do, if you guys do it, all right?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
No. We're getting 100.
Fired.
1,000. A million. Stop. We're getting paid.
Joey, go stop it. We're getting paid.
A Big Mac and a large fry for me, and he can get $15. Yeah.
All right. So, Asher, you went down. You could have bought your own Happy Meal.
Never mind.
And made it.
Good boy. Never mind.
Okay. And made an extra 10. But, okay, so we're going to go. So, we're going to go 20. We're going to go $20 for each of you. And, Joey, I'm going to get you a suit. Ash, Dad's going to buy you a suit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put you in a suit. You're going to be on the Crime Dawg channel. Folks, you heard it live here. These are the newest members of the Crime Dawg family. Let's hear it for them, baby.
Yeah. Dad, can I get you a Rolex?
No. Get out of here.
Just for the show?
No.
Hey, what an out. That was a great out. All right, folks, let's hear it for Joey. They're the new members of the Crime Dawg Army. By the way, speaking of the Crime Dawg team, we got a shout out to Brett Zabreski tonight. Brett Zabreski turned 60 this week. He's part of the Crime Dawg family. Let's hear it for Brett, folks. Brett, welcome to the podcast, man. Just kidding, he's not here. He's doing something more important. Brett's running 1,000 miles. He's in the middle of his run.
He couldn't be here.
I wanted to call, but he's in the middle of the Albion charity
running.
thing. Yeah, he's running right now.
I know. That was a joke.
Oh, he couldn't be here?
Yeah,
Wait, I don't know what's
he's
going
running
on.
50 miles a day, so I thought it would be
Yeah, he's
funny
running.
if he was like,
Yeah. All right, we're going to end this on a good note. I don't think anybody in the audience wants to step up to the mic, but if you do, we got a seat open. If you don't, we're going to end the podcast right now. Oh, wait, hang on 1 second. Time out. 1 fucking second. There's one guy, and I hope he does it. Please do it. He is, I talk about him and his platoon. Folks, David and I were ghetto fucking street cops through and through. I worked Clinton, Joseph, Conkey, Clifford. He worked Genesee, Bartlett, Genesee. But this guy that I talk about was part of the best fucking platoon in RPD history. They're called the Goodman guys. They're the G4, G3 guys. They work their platoon 3 to 11. They worked right next door to me when I was a young snot.
All Italian, all from the old neighborhood.
They are unbelievable.
Probably had Pam sauce. I never did.
If I could have Ronnie Sapella step up with us, please. Ronnie, will you come here right now? Folks, this guy right here, Ronnie Sapella. Ronnie, I know you did, man. I'm sorry, but I got to have you on the mic because you were literally...
You basically got to eat it without...
I know, man.
Hi.
Ronnie, you were... Folks, for those that don't know, we always talk about it. There's a lot of respect that guys... You got to
know your history.
You got to know your history. Guys that work the hood, guys that work the streets, guys that bang and bang every day, they respect each other. Ronnie, kudos to you. Hats off. I know you're representing the Goodman boys because I'll tell you right now, the reason why I talk about you guys all the time was first and foremost, you deserve your fucking props because there has never been and there never will be a platoon of literally close to 10, 15 guys with... We talk about the late Mac and Mitch.
Animals.
We talk about Yodi. We talk about Bonafide. We talk about Genovese, Mark Lee, you, Mike Hooper.
It wasn't officer friendly.
No, and the list goes on and on and on and on. You guys were like a fucking all-star team.
Were you the only non-Italian in the crew?
Jews.
I'm half Italian.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
But you were part, Danny.
They
Danny,
accept me.
Have you had Pam sauce? Because I haven't.
I have not.
But Ronnie, I wanted
I
wanted everyone to know that this is the guy that we talk about, Ronnie Sapellas. Ronnie was part of the greatest platoon. This platoon, there'll never be another platoon that will be assembled in history that'll have the amount of talent and wherewithal and fear. A good kind of fear. The fear that you guys put in these fucking ghetto gangbangers that were on the street. That when you guys came on a roll call, they saw your cars coming down Sile Street, Goodman Street, Parcells Avenue.
Yeah, there were guys that were feared, but I never heard of a platoon,
a shift,
like an army, a whole shift that was feared. Like you get guys at roll call, you're like, oh, that dude comes on the street, like people run and hide.
Right.
That whole platoon, they knew.
That whole fucking shift when they came on a roll call on Waring Road, everybody from Waring Road all the way, the border at the time was Hudson Avenue.
Dope sales ended.
Every
guns were
fucking
picked up. Old ladies were getting walked across the street.
Yeah, that was the thing, though, right? So, Ronnie, I know it's embarrassing to have your fucking flag waved, but I got to tell everybody, the Crime Dawg Army, when we talk about the Goodman guys over there on the platoon, you guys were it, man. We love you.
Thank you.
We can't thank you enough for the support.
They were special.
Yeah.
They were.
See this, Scotty. Yeah, they were special, and you guys were the ones who were there, man, and you guys did it. And I appreciate you guys. You guys were there for me, man, and I can't say.
How'd you guys all end up on the same platoon?
It was like fate. I have no idea. I really have no idea.
Start there at the academy and just grow into going to 4th platoon?
So Goodman 3rd was a great platoon, and I think we all tried to migrate to it. So I started off in Highland for a year, but my goal was to get to Goodman. And we all just kind of started getting to Goodman, and then we all ended up together. So
that's cool.
Well, shout out to you guys, Ron. And there's no better way to end a podcast with a legendary street cop like you. Shout out to all your boys, man.
I appreciate it.
Hoorah.
All right, man. Hoorah. Ronnie Sapellas, everybody. Round of applause for Ronnie. Folks, that's it. G-Money, you got anything to say? Where to go? Yeah, I know. You fucking scared cat.
Come on, G-Money. Come here and talk some shit.
Folks, there you have it, man. That's the Crime Dawg Live Show, the first one in the books. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Hey, like we end every podcast, we appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate the live audience. We hope you stick with us for future episodes. But like my brother-in-law Frankie Grassi says, if you can't make it next time, who cares?